Welcome, ghouls and goblins, to this spooktacular episode of the review series of 100 Girlfriends. Before the festivities begin, I must warn you mortals that around these parts we support the official translation, as well as the monster horde that brings us these scanlations. I'm your ghost host with the most, Moonlight150, for this nightmare-fueled horror on this spooky Halloween night. What do you mean Halloween was 2 weeks ago? We had a chapter come out directly on Halloween in Japan. It was supposed to be all spooky and full of yokai so I can make a bunch of Dan-to-Dan references. Freddy Krueger was gonna guest star during the cold open. And then, we would have the long-awaited Yokai-san join the harem. It was gonna line up all perfectly. So we got our nightmare-filled chapter 2 weeks later? And no Yokai-san? Instead we got a cute sleepy cobbler girlfriend. Alright, I guess we'll roll with that. Hand me the script. Change of plans, everyone. Put away the fog machine and candy. Instead, we'll be going over chapter 196, Rentero's Family's Sweet Dreams Party. Heart emoji. I thought I was told this was going to be a scary chapter. Director! The chapter opens back on the rooftop as Rentero introduces Nemu to the other 30 girlfriends. Looks like Nozawa finally had to update the gang picture here after reusing it a few times during Meru's and Saki's introduction. Though I think I was a bigger fan of the older style, particularly Himika. Rest in peace that hilarious Himika face. Nemu takes a quick gander at the previous girlfriends, noticing how every one of them is gorgeous, and recognizes Rin from her neighboring classroom. Panicking that she won't measure up to the rest, and much like the last chapter, when she panics, she falls asleep. Yeah, we definitely have moved on from sleepwalking, and this is just full-blown stress coping mechanism now. She's the Zenitsu of the group. Nakamura is a known Demon Slayer enjoyer, so this tracks. We need a name for this other half of Nemu. Leave some suggestions down in the comments below. Now in her sleeping form, Nemu goes around greeting everyone without a shred of hesitation. And as Rentero explains to everyone the condition of her quote-unquote sleepwalking, Nemu pulls out a couple banners showing her appreciation for the other girlfriends, calling them a group of beauts or a gaggle of pretties. But this bout of boldness is short-lived as she awakens from her slumber. See? Didn't I tell you? As soon as the stressful situation of greeting everyone was over, she goes back. It's a stress coping mechanism. But thankfully everyone is kind enough to roll with it, as Nemu explains that she's just a big fan of sleeping. Hahari then suggests they all go play hooky from school and work to just go take a siesta for a while. I guess the series takes place in Spain now. Once again, they congregate at the Hanazono mansion with the intent of taking a nap with Kasuri's super ultra medical sleeping incest. Patent pending. But as the narrator points out, unbeknownst to everyone including Kasuri, the side effect of the super ultra medical sleeping incest, patent pending, is having a terrible nightmare. But apparently being super sleep deprived, or having a split personality that operates in sleep, makes you immune to the incense as Nemu's sleeping half gets up to the sound of everyone having a nightmare. What's the nightmare that they all seem to be sharing? Why, it's none other than the love of their life Rentero dying. Or already dead, since it seems a majority of them are saying this at the apparent funeral. Come on kids, let's go see how they handled it. Matsuri calls Rentero's funeral a miserable festival. And I'm just gonna say it on the record now for all of you. I want my funeral to be an absolute bop of a party. Hire only the best DJs. After hearing a couple of these nightmares, Nemu tries to wake them up, but the incense is too powerful. Next up, we get some rather depressing quotes from Uto and Nano. Uto acting like she's seeing Rentero off on a journey that she can't join, and Nano calling life meaningless without him. Such a stark contrast to her original beliefs in thinking spending time with others was meaningless. Then in probably the saddest moments in this chapter, actually the whole manga in quite a while, comes from Hahari and Yaku of all people. And then it hits you. Oh yeah, these two have lost love partners already, and now we're facing it all over again of losing another one with Rentero. Ouch. Now realizing the dire situation that everyone is in, Nemu's sleeping half springs into action trying to wake them up, but to no avail. With Shizuka, the tears keep on coming. And they don't stop coming. And even in death, Karne can't turn off the tsundere by calling Rentero stupid for dying and leaving her all alone. Kasuri sets off on a quest to make a zombifies you drug to bring Rentero back, and Himika shouts for Rentero to come back from the dead like the one-of-a-kind man that he is. Himika actually has a really sweet way of thinking of Rentero. Meru calls this the bad ending of 100 Girlfriends, as Sue has a panic attack calling Rentero to stop posing like a one and come back to her. This might be the third most heart-wrenching line behind Hahari and Yaku's. Kurumi says that the food at the funeral doesn't taste like anything because Rentaro isn't there, and Momiji gropes a dead body. Allegedly. The bisexual panic that is Mai is heartbroken at only being able to marry Mei now instead of Mei and Rentaro, and Chiyo just growls. I thought she dropped that quirk already. Yamame goes full circle of life by coping with Rentaro dying, saying he'll nourish the plants, while Momoha is so depressed that she needs the drink to forget about all the pain of Rentaro dying. Okay, Momoha, you can take 4th place in most heartbreaking. Nemu waterboards Momoha so she can get her fix of water, thinking it's booze. Speaking of wet, Hikari is not, as she describes herself as bone dry like a desert. Thanks for that update. And Tama says being a cat means she still experiences pain because cats have hearts, much like humans. So Tama now wishes to be just a pill bug to not have a heart. Meru of the 4th wall break? What is your wisdom this time? Mei resorts back to her old habit of selling her organs, this time to pay for Rentaro's grave. Whereas Mei says she'll knit 100 knit Rentaros, and I guess this is how she enters her Joker arc. Kishka cries out for her daddy and Iku meets her match in just how much pain she can bear, with saying losing Rentaro is too much. We then see Nemu has taken the time to line up everyone in a single file line, but not before giving Iku a German suplex.
Suplex City.
Lastly, we see Rentaro facing his worst nightmare of all of his girlfriends dying, and swearing to the writer Nakamura himself that he'll kill him and rewrite 100 Girlfriends to have a good ending. And if the publishing company gets in the way, he'll atomize them. And after that last flirty date with Ren, I wouldn't doubt that he has the ability to do that.
Behold!
I love the side note though that he'd spare Nozawa because he needs her to do the art, confirming Rentaro is no artist. Back to Nemu, and she has gone around to getting the rest of the 30 girlfriends all lined up, and then proceeds to slide Rentaro across them all in some kind of kissing slide. What does that even sound like? And as weird as it was, it seemed to work, as the kissing contact of Rentaro changed the course of their dreams, bringing him back into their dreams as not dead. And we get this great splash page of everyone happily sleeping away in their dreams of Rentaro doing who knows what. Well, at least in the case of Hikari, I think we all know what her dreams are. After all that backbreaking work, Nemu's sleeping half's job is done, and she falls back to proper sleep, giving us the viewer a sweet dreams message. And if you're watching this video at night, sweet dreams to you too. Only to be later woken up by everyone after they woke themselves up. And that is a wrap on the introduction arc for Nemu. I see a lot of potential in what both sides of her personality will bring to future chapters. This is a great chapter even minus the highlights of the new character. It's a great little dive into the psyche of each character and how they will handle the greatest loss in their lives, and the answer to that is, not very well at all. I kept saying we needed more serious chapters, but this might have been a little too serious. And this chapter perfectly balanced the comedic slapstick of multi-kissing everyone to ease the horror that they are all facing. Only in 100 Girlfriends can you get away with something like that. And it looks like I was correct in my prediction from the last video that we were getting a break after this one. Which works for me, I have a bunch of other videos to work on, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to get notified when those videos drop. And I will see you all on the next one.